Brave soldier boy, come marching home. He thought he knew what he was fighting for, but the sight of blood made him question war. Poor soldier boy, cold and alone, arrows fall like rain, he's all alone. Those leaves did grow from branches overgrown, drifting slowly down, resting in the snow. Little soldier boy, marching from his home, forced to fight a war that is not his own. Leaves from the vine, changing so slow, like empty fallen souls looking for a home. Little soldier boy thought that he could soar. Brave soldier boy died in that war. Leaves from the vine falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. Ash in the snow, falling so slow, like fragile broken hearts with no place to go. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. He thought he knew what he was fighting for, but the sight of blood made him question war. Poor soldier boy, cold and alone, arrows fall like rain, he's all alone. Those leaves did grow from branches overgrown, drifting slowly down, resting in the snow. Little soldier boy, marching from his home, forced to fight a war that is not his own. Leaves from the vine, changing so slow, like empty fallen souls looking for a home. Little soldier boy thought that he could soar.
Hi everybody, welcome to another stream, 100 and something or other, 102, 101, 100 and something. So the Navarre chat we did on Monday, really successful. So Urizen next. Urizen is a nation that I think I've done one chat before, and that was ages ago. So it's been requested that we do Urizen and we go through the nations that I've missed. And as we're going, because of 100 and stuff, 102, yeah, there we go. Cheers, John, 102. So we're going to go through, chat about Urizen, ask all the questions in the world. That's great. There are no silly questions. I can't even bring myself to say the rest of that quote, so I won't. But yeah, we're just going to sit here. We're going to chill. I have two wonderful people with me who agreed to do this at very short notice because I'm crap at organising things. Basically, I need help. I need serious help. So we'll go with Raz first. So if you want to introduce yourself, it says who you are, who you play, and then I can get names and pronouns sorted out.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Raz. I'm in the Urizen spire known as Storm's End. We rebranded because we joined together two spires. And I am Alicia Thane, the current Archmage of Night.
Ooh. So we've hit the jackpot with you then, really, an archmage as well.
No.
Okay, and Stuart, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Stuart Armstrong. In the game, I play Aquilian of Ensmeet, who is a totally safe experimenter into totally safe experiments that don't cause any problems with anybody, and yes, and are not crazy in any way.
I love the fact that anytime someone says, "Oh, I'm not crazy at all," it's like, yeah, prove it. That's right. Claire's joined. So bear with me one second. We're going to go back to the opening slide again, and then we're going to get Claire in as well.
Yay!
Right.
Leaves from the vine falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. Ash in the snow, falling so slow, like fragile broken hearts with no place to go. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. He thought he knew what he was fighting for, but the sight of blood made him question war. Poor soldier boy, cold and alone, arrows fall like rain, he's all alone. Those leaves did grow from branches overgrown, drifting slowly down, resting in the snow. Little soldier boy, marching from his home, forced to fight a war that is not his own. Leaves from the vine, changing so slow, like empty fallen souls looking for a home. Little soldier boy thought that he could soar. Brave soldier boy died in that war. Leaves from the vine falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. Ash in the snow, falling so slow, like fragile broken hearts with no place to go. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. He thought he knew what he was fighting for, but the sight of blood made him question war. Poor soldier boy, cold and alone, arrows fall like rain, he's all alone. Those leaves did grow from branches overgrown, drifting slowly down, resting in the snow. Little
Hello again. Take 2. So we've gained a person. Oh man, I'm huge, and I should be further over. And I'll put that there. There we go. And we need to ban Helen from chat because she said so kawaii. Dear oh dear. So we're all back in chat. We're going to chat Urizen. We have got Raz, who has said hello already. We have got Stuart, who has said hello already. We have got Stuart's beard, who is magnificent. we now have the wonderful Claire with us as well. Do you want to say a little bit of an introduction, Claire? Let everybody know who you are.
Sure. Hi, I'm Claire Sheridan. I've been playing in Urizen since the beginning of Empire, and I'm currently playing Nicasia of Phoenix Reach, who is serving as the General of the Citadel Guard.
Excellent. And they're complaining my videos aren't aligned. Cheeky little shits. There you go, John. Shut up. So, something that I've been doing from the beginning of all of this was chatting about all of the nations and trying to get more information put out there, so that new players can watch these and get a little bit of information. But they're not getting the information as this is the wiki. It's just this, and this. They're going to get the information from players who are able to then just say, well, this is how we play. This is what we're like, and stuff like that. Because I would hate for a player to do what I did with Urizen, because it kind of ruined Urizen for me anyway as a player. But we'll come on to that at some point, because the flip side of that is that someone in Urizen gave me the most wonderful bit of aggro I've ever received at Empire, and it was wonderful. But that's a story for a bit later on, I'm sure. So, first questions already. It's actually the question I was going to ask straight away. So my partner she has brought it up. So Raz, we'll go with you first. So what made you want to try out Urizen, and how has it changed since you joined the nation?
So when I first joined Urizen, it was this is my first LARP. Empire was my first introduction to LARP.
Yeah.
And I joined with a group of people. At the time, I believe it was Izzy, who was Tanwin and is now Lelius. And we joined as part of their group. And I actually spent the first year as a completely different character, not really knowing what to do in LARP, not really finding my feet much. I was a sentinel for a brief moment, so used to do scouting on the fields and stuff. And then I broke my toes and had to retire. So I joined as Elysia Thane in year 2, and I decided to engage in the magic game more, and I've never looked back. But my experiences of being in Urizen has always been, it's kind of like a bit of a family group. Like everybody in Urizen seems to know everybody else, and everyone's so friendly and welcoming. And for somebody like me who had never tried LARP before, I think Urizen is what I needed. They you know, a lot of people were very welcoming, and I never felt ostracized, or I didn't feel like there was anywhere forbidden for me to go in Urizen. I could just walk into a tent and be offered a brew and a drink and a friendly, like, Phoenix Reach tent, always welcoming, always a brew and a song.
Awesome, that's really nice. How did you break your toes? That's horrific.
Yeah, I didn't do it at Empire. I did it on a vacuum cleaner at home. I wish I could say I did it in battle and it was amazing, and I hobbled off through the Sentinel gate. But no, it was...
Wow. Okay.
Sadly, my character was taken out by a Dyson.
That's fantastic. Clip it. That's amazing. That's so good. That's so good.
People be quoting me on that now.
Oh my god, I love it. Love it. So Stuart, well, how about you? Where did it all start, and what's changed for you?
I've been playing Aquilian from the very beginning, and from Well, shall we say there's been several rules changed to the magic system
Yeah.
since the beginning, and I may be responsible for a portion more or less high of at least some of those changes. It's I decided to. Well, basically, I'm quite similar to my character Aquilian now, but we didn't start off that similar, and it hasn't been Aquilian that's been changing. So his sort of way on life of, oh, that sounds interesting, let's do it. That sounds boring, let's not do it. Let's move in and move on, have been great. Now, in terms of practicality for new players, it sort of shows that you can do quite a lot of different styles of role play, even in Urizen. Because Urizen, the stereotype is sort of austere, calm, perfection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Aquilian, my character, is not austere or calm, and gets in trouble for this. Yes, it is playing against type. It is, you expect to get some social opera in there, but he's trying to do the perfection, the arete, as much as possible, even if the poise is not always there. So I felt that since the Briars were prejudiced against, that was an interesting angle to explore. Now I'm pretty sure that Aquilian is not prejudiced against because he's a Briar. He'd be prejudiced against because he's Aquilian. And I have not blown up nearly as many people as you'd think, and there has not been any fatalities amongst Aquilian's allies in any of his experiments. We might have got close to death, but no actual deaths. So come and join us, and there's a lot of different things you can do.
Excellent. I just have to read out some of these comments very quickly here, for no reason whatsoever. The damned Roomba Ushpati. Fearsome beast, the die soon. Death by Dyson. Oof. I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took a Dyson to the toe.
Oh, these are going on my grave.
They're brilliant. That's so good. Thanks for scrubbing. Scrubbing? Yeah, scrubbing, whatever. Subbing. They're stuck. Another month has snuck by and I still can't talk properly. Oh dear. So Claire, how about yourself then? Why did you pick Urizen and how has it changed for you?
So started out with the group of Phoenix Reach, and we also sat down and we're thinking, oh, where do we want to go? And we were looking at nations that, honestly, we were looking at places where we thought it wasn't going to be as popular, because we could see, already at the beginning that certain nations were going to attract more players than others.
Yeah.
We thought Urizen looked like a good place where we could, have a good impact. And I think, the ideas again of like the arete and the doing things really well appealed. And also we thought, well, you're going to get, a lot of people doing ritual magic and going in as magicians, because as Stuart said, the stereotype and the sort of the type that's being driven at is the mage in Urizen. So we thought, let's all be a group of sentinels. We'll go in and we'll look flashy in our armor and we'll fight as this, big fighting force, and we'll see how it goes. As it goes, Phoenix Reach have lost an awful lot of characters over the years. Some of us that are there are still point ones, as they say, still there as our original characters. Some people have re-rolled into us. We've adopted new players who've come in looking for, groups to join, and they've enjoyed role playing obviously with us and with our very large tent. And the stove always helps. So yeah, actually Phoenix Reach as a group is a lot smaller than we used to be. But I think as far as our goals of we're going to be sentinels, we're going to support sentinels, that's still very much at the forefront of what we do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool because I think Phoenix Reach is one of the pillars, I think, of Urizen. It's one of the ones that everyone's heard of. It's the Urizen equivalent of, say, like the Shattered Tower, I guess, in Highguard. It's the name that
Yeah, we've got a bit of a name for ourselves.
everyone's heard of them. So it's really, really good to see. There was another question there as well. So Urizen is one of the smallest nations. Why do you think that is, and why is that a good thing? So open to anybody who wants to take that one.
A lot of character deaths have had a lot of impact, haven't they?
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. There was a horrendous year. It looked like we were growing quite big, and then there was a horrendous year where a lot of people died.
Yeah,
I think we do attract people who want to like go out and, you know, on the battlefield, they want to prove themselves as, you know, brilliant soldiers, brilliant, you know, risk takers, and sometimes those risks don't pay off.
No.
Great stories though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will say as well. I mean, when it comes to the fighting side of it, this is just an aside. As someone who within Empire, I've done so much fighting. I will safely say that Claire is by far the greatest general who has ever lived at Empire, by an absolute mile. She's incredible. So if anybody wants to learn the military game, Claire is where to go. So Urizen are a small nation, but they've got the best general that the Empire has seen, in my eyes. So that's a total aside though. Don't ask me to tell you who the best general is in character, because Mac will just tell you to piss off. So that's a completely as an aside there as well. So yeah. Okay then. So
don't forget, Phoenix Street is also great for drinks and singing into the night.
Yeah, this is
true. We do have that.
This is something that I've never really. I think this is probably just down to my experience when I joined Urizen for 3 hours, 4 hours, I think, as Mac, and then I left because I just didn't think it was for me. Because when I joined, I think I was playing Urizen on a bit of hard mode because I turned up in all my Navari regalia, and I was going to be right. I'm playing the change from Navar to Urizen now. And that's what I was going to do. And as soon as I turned up, the majority of Urizen were just like, yeah, you go and stand in that corner. And I was just sat there on my own for hours. And I hated it. But then you talk to people about it, and it's just sort of, it turns out that a lot of the conversations going on were what to do with me. So, yeah, I didn't realise that one. But no, it was... But hospitality within Urizen is not something that I've ever really considered, because it doesn't seem to be as big on the Urizen mannerisms, I guess, as if you go into the Navar, say. So why do you? So it's nice to hear that it's just. So what is like hospitality for the Urizen?
I run a tea house and a massage parlor in Urizen.
Oh.
Had more of a hand in it, literally, metaphorically, before I was Archmage, and then my partner, who plays my twin brother, has taken over it with a lot of other people from our spire as well. But we have a tent called the Sentinel's Repose, and you know, a steady stream of traffic going through there. We have quite a lot of tea houses in Urizen. So Urizen hospitality is quite literally tea based. For the most part, there's a lot of tea houses. I think when I first arrived at Urizen, we weren't sure properly how to play the brief. As in, we weren't sure how hard we should attack the brief, really.
Yeah.
And I think as the years have gone by, and as people have come into their own and come into their characters, and they realise like where their character's idea of perfection lies, I think people find us a lot more welcoming. I mean, Stuart mentioned earlier, Aquilian is most certainly not the poise part. He's most definitely the perfection in magic part, but certainly there's been a couple of incidents with Aquilian. The same with Alicia Thane. She's a very, very emotional Naga who used to be from the Brass Coast. So if Alicia Thane doesn't like what she's hearing, she'll say it very loudly, very aggressively with Fang's bed, and it's not usually the image of Urizen that people see. But you can play against the brief, you can play to the brief, you can play whatever. And I think that's good that idea has kind of gone into Urizen a bit more now. People don't feel afraid that they're just gonna, be met with this wall of cold stone faces. I think people are actually seeing that we're quite a passionate and emotional nation. Actually, it's just what the idea of perfection is changes.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky enough to have experienced the passion firsthand from Izzy, and that was after a skirmish actually in the Black Plateau.
Oh God!
And
In the day,
that was
Yeah.
it was incredible. I think she slapped me around the face. Some other Urizen spat at me, and it was actually came to blows, and we were like, the pretend fisticuffs going on with Urizen and Navarre on this skirmish. It was it was amazing. It was amazing. It was so incredible to do, and stopping an Urizeni get stabbed up essentially by a load of Navarre as well during that meant that Izzy came up to me afterwards and was like, so thanks for like saving this guy's life, and gave me a hug, and I was just like, I didn't think Urizen were allowed to touch people. And it was just like, because I think Urizen are that nation in the field, aren't they, that they have so much stigma and so many things that surround them that people don't know anything about them, and it's really showing, especially now, because I've got no clue, obviously, what it means to be Urizen. I've got none whatsoever. So this is good.
I think both those questions are kind of linked as well. The sort of like, why are we still the smallest nation? And then, the idea of the hospitality, because I think the tea houses are lovely and calm and nice social places to go during the day. And then in the daytime, a lot of Urizen are going about their business, and we're quite serious about our business, whether it's trade or magic or military. We want to get stuff done. As you say, a lot of people do play the poise, do play the the social distancing, and such. But then, certainly part again of Phoenix Reach is we work hard and we play hard. So when it comes to like the evening, there will be, as you say, singing, there will be socializing, be quite raucous behavior, and you can just come in and join us, and I think once people sort of, put a bit of time in to Urizen, either to work in with an Urizeni or to come in round after dark and sort of seeing what's going on, you can find those ways in. I think for a lot of people, what they see is the wiki, and as you say, those kind of that reputation for being, cold and standoffish and things like that, and they think, oh no, I don't want to go and play with that. There is so much you can do with it.
Yeah, it sounds it. It sounds it though. There was a question about. Go on.
I think we have to admit that Urizen is maybe one of the trickier nations to just show up on your own with no group around you. You can do it if you're a bit patient, or if you're immune to social cues. But it does benefit from, I am this person's brother, this is my area of expertise. You can start forming a team and start forming connections there.
Yeah, it definitely explains why I failed, because I don't have I can't read social cues, and I'm not patient at all. So yeah, it definitely does explain it. But I think Urizen as a nation, though, it's something that's always interested me. But unfortunately for me, I go back to my initial like engagement with them as a new character. And it's just like, and it didn't sit well. But it was like I had the same thing with Varushka as well. My first thing with Varushka wasn't great, but then after I had a chat with Varushka on the stream, and my God, I want to play Varushka. It's really really good. We've touched. Poise was brought up. and Helen's actually asked, so poise to the average player outside of Urizen is taken as being a bit robotic. How do you play it out in the field, and what is it really?
Claire.
I'll take this one first then. Yeah, so I'm playing an Irizeni Mero, so I've got, the 2 tiers of keeping your emotions under control. So yeah, what it is it's control. So it's not you don't feel things, it's you are very aware of what you're feeling and you sort of react appropriately at the time. So there's a lot of mindfulness in there. And so, as you just said, it might be a case of giving someone a handshake or a hug at the right time. It'll be making sure that you are shouting when it's appropriate. Um, and it's also, it can give you the power to, to really sort of decide on situations. So, for example, there have been several occasions. The one I really remember was the character Vitellius was killed on a skirmish, I think. Sorry, Tom, it might have been a battle. But, he was my second for a couple of years. Really close friend. Trusted that character so much. And someone told me, and it was the middle of the day. I probably had to go to military council. And I just sort of looked at them and was like, I will deal with this later. Took some deep breaths, went off and did what needed to be done. And then, the mourning and the letting yourself feel it comes along later. So you can sort of pick and choose a lot of the time when you want to do those things and who you want to do them with.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's not robotic. In the slightest, it's right. I am going to acknowledge that I am feeling some feelings, and then I get to decide, when and what I do with those feelings.
Awesome.
Could I bring up the? Oh, sorry, Stuart. Go on.
I was just saying that I play a Briar, so the opposite of a Mero there. I have always contradictory urges and wanting to move and stuff like that. So I see poise somewhat on the outside as trying to do it and failing. And Aquilian has a long list of justifications for why this is kind of actually really part of poise, or don't really need to be poised in that circumstance. It's not that important.
Yeah.
It's basically, I play it to fail at the poise thing, or at least partially fail, and to feel bad about it.
Does that lead to
One
some...
of my...
Go on, sorry.
One of my things I always remember about Aquilium, that is always a thing when something... I'm sorry to say this, Stuart. Terrible things happen to Aquilian a lot, okay? But when something terrible does happen to Aquilian, because Stuart's such a good role player, you get like Aquilian as this reasoning, experimental mage going. You get these moments where Aquilian will be talking to you, but he won't be. He'll be talking at you, and he's going, right, okay, this is happening. Right, so what I should do is I should do this, and you get this moment where Aquilian will reason through what he's feeling, but it'll always end up with usually something horrific. But yeah, he does reason through what he's feeling, and it's brilliant to see Stuart doing that, because that's like a Briar whose reaction, his instinct is to react, trying to sort of be aware of himself. It's amazing. So I just thought I'd pay Stuart a compliment there for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask. I say that must lead to some interesting roleplay then for yourself, Stuart. It's that does definitely sounds like it does. So how do other people react then if your poise is off, I guess, or out? I don't know what the correct way to describe it would be. So if your poise is off, then how's that roleplay go? Does the head of your does someone come up to you and just say, you need to do this or this? You need to think about it, or is it like the priest way? Go off and say 10 Hail Marys and drink 3 Bloody Marys and then come back later.
No, it's very rare that people would actually get any kind of reprimand for,
Okay.
lack of or failing of poise.
Excellent.
Um, it's a very sort of, personal thing. Um, we don't police it. That's the right term.
Mm.
Um, so like if we did feel that someone's like reaction was inappropriate or excessive, then we'd probably have a word with them, but more just in a, kind of chill kind of way.
Mm.
But actually, if someone is not as poised as they usually are, usually other people will take that as a signal to, actually find out what's the matter, what's going on. Um, and again, so for Nicasia, that could be simply that I've like shouted at someone, and people will be like, "Are you okay?" Wow, they really pissed you off, didn't they? Whereas I've been under curses. I've had unfettered anarchy before. And I just at one point had to leave the military council tent and just went outside and started ranting, like pacing up and down. And a friend of mine just sort of stood back, let it go. And then afterwards, they were like, "Wow, that was just really weird to watch." You do that because that's just so not like you. And usually it's
Mm.
another way, of people sort of actually taking that cue and getting involved in whatever is happening with you at the time.
Yeah. So this will be that's really interesting. Actually, I've never heard it talked about like that, and I think it's just a distinct lack of knowledge. I'm hoping everybody who watches these does learn from all of this, and they do look at Urizen in a different way, because I think
Could
that's
I could I sorry, could I bring something up about the is it the remembrance ceremony we do?
Yeah.
Is that what it's
okay.
called?
Yeah. Yes.
Um
Memory of remembrance. Yeah.
yeah. So once a year Urizen actually gather as a nation to remember their dead through the year.
Okay.
And we view that as kind of a chance for us to show poise, as in we're showing our emotions together as a nation. So we kind of, as a nation, we kind of grieve together.
Okay.
Um, and I'm gonna bring it back to Izzy again because she comes up with amazing ideas for these, the remembrance. And what stands out to me is she did like a sort of dramaturgy in one of the ceremonies, and it was this scene where Laelius, her character, was playing the voice of reason, the voice of community in Urizen, and the web, the web that ties us all together. And my character was tasked with playing the voice of our anger at how many we've lost. And it was very intense roleplay where I basically just got to do what I do best and scream at people. Um, and it was very intense roleplay to the point where some of our own nation didn't realize that it was dramaturgy and it was planned. And it was only after some people took a sort of step back and realized that I was totally reading off a script, that they kind of realized it was, it was a piece of performance. And I think that's one of the things that always stands out to me as Urizen is, as Claire says, showing our emotions at the right time.
Mm.
There's some heated stories, there's some like emotions, there's people with tears as they talk about how angry they are that a person was taken from them in such a way. And I think Urizen as a nation grieves together, and we all kind of stand and acknowledge, yeah, this person is feeling really unhappy at the moment. And that's always been quite an interesting thing to see. Like when Urizen as a nation grieve together, we kind of let it all out, all the emotion, and it makes us feel quite close as a nation, to be honest, because you learn who has died that year. And Claire, I'm sure Claire will tell you about the general sash with all the name of our dead on it.
It's really cool. So there are a lot more emotion. Sorry, say again.
Sorry, I was just saying that sort of remembrance ritual I found really moving. In some ways, more moving than real funerals. Some real funerals I've been to, which is a bit odd, but it seems sort of designed to hit all the emotional notes.
Yeah. Kyle's just said in chat, Poise sounds like a great way to engage in roleplay despite the immediate worry of it being a blocked game. I think that's put it quite well.
I'd agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely sounds like that Urizen are more in tune with their emotions than everyone else, because everyone else it's just there and it's just on edge and it just comes out whenever they need to. But Urizen are definitely more, I suppose it's in a more dignified way, isn't it? It's more controlled, and that also explains why I probably couldn't play an Urizen myself. I'm just not in control ever. This one's for you, Raz. This is a question for you. It's not about Hoovers, don't worry.
Sure, I was literally about to say that then.
As Urizen is seen as the magic nation, do you see it the same way? Does it need to be portrayed more within the nation?
So I believe it came under a little bit of that sort of stigma that it was the magic nation.
Yeah.
However, my first sort of experience in Urizen was a sentinel. You know, I had no magic, and it was all hero points, and you know that was kind of my style. I'll be honest with you, I think it's very balanced in Urizen, and I think Phoenix Reach are responsible for that. We've got a lot of the sword scholars. We've got Invidia. Is it Invidia Citadel?
Yeah, Nvidia and the
You know,
Scarlet Guard as well.
yeah. We've got quite a lot of we've got a lot of very big covens, but we've also got a lot of very, very good sentinels. And like I said, it was necessity that kind of made me switch over to magic. And I've enjoyed that side. I've enjoyed the magic game. Obviously, you know, worked my way up to being Archmage of Night, and that's always interesting. But my first experiences with magic were courtesy of Mr. Aquilian, with some whispers through the black gate that totally didn't go wrong. Honest.
Which ones?
Which ones?
Nikova.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
There's a story here.
Stuart, you are probably better equipped to tell it because you actually knew what we were doing. I didn't. I was just along for the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I. Or I think there are multiple attempts to Nikovar.
Yeah. We failed spectacularly the first time.
We got a specific NPC to come out and curse us, so that's a kind of success.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's we seem to have, a bit by fluke and a bit by design, ended up somewhat in the sort of position of the Eldar in the Warhammer 40k universe. We're not many, but we're very good at specialized things, at magic and at fighting, sort of small specialist units kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think we punch above our weight in magic because we have a reputation. I think, especially we're not as powerful as we once were. I don't think. I think there's lost mages, and I think there's other nations that can do, at least in many areas, better magic than Urizen can. Because it's our area of reputation, and because we just focus on it so much, we still manage to do quite a lot in that way.
So, yeah, because you think Urizen and you just think magic automatically. I had one experience. I went on a skirmish with an Urizeni who was very high up in the militia. I can't remember his name. He's crazy, and it was amazing. And it's another side of Urizen that you don't expect to see. I think I was asked to go along as the Empire's official executioner for a role, just for the skirmish. I wanted it to be an official role that I could have forever, but I wasn't allowed it. And I was stood there arguing with Oliver Facey's magistrate as well about that one. That would have been so much fun. Wasn't allowed it, and this this guy literally, when we found the people we were looking for, they were all found guilty. Instead of Kurt saying, right, the plan was, right, you would come here one at a time, have your crimes told to you, and you'd be executed. It's like, no, he ordered a massacre. People were running, and he was like, yeah, you chase them down, please. He ordered an absolute massacre, and I love him for it. It was incredible. It was amazing. The anger in his voice was incredible, and it was just like, I love that man. It was amazing to see. It was so good. It was so good to see because it's not what you expect, and I love it when the role play dictates that you broke a little bit of what he obviously wanted to do, and he broke a little bit. It was just like, it's this, and it was just like, sorry, what? All of them? Oh, okay. And that was it. It was done. It was incredible, absolutely incredible to see. So, all right, let's move a little bit away from like poise and stuff like that, and move a bit onto kit. We've got a question here. So, what piece of kit embodies Urizen for you? So, Claire, should we start with you?
If we're talking like in general, I think whenever we have kit conversations on the Facebook group, it tends to come back to the stole, okay, or the shawl, where you can have your long strip of material that you can put round your neck, and it goes straight down. And quite often you'll like to have a belt around the middle, and that just lifts most outfits into that Urizen silhouette of having a bit of flow going on. It's also very handy because you can put your symbol of your spire or your citadel or your temple on there as well. But yeah, if you're looking for like that last little detail to lift your kit, it's going to be the stole or a circlet. Having the circlet on your head, on your forehead, is something that I think is quintessentially Urizeni as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, is that your favourite piece of kit for yourself? Then is it as well, or?
I mean, my favourite bit of kit for myself is, I think I'm still going to go with the mandala armor because that's been with me since day one. I designed that with them, and also the cloak that goes under it was made by Esther Reeves, who works with them as well.
Yeah.
But this one is, I don't actually remember what material it's made of, but it's a molded mage armor. So it's just got like gemstones and swirls, and I've got the vambraces, and then the shoulders and my my vambraces, not vambrace, sorry, my pectoral as well. And yeah, it just makes me very happy, and I'm definitely ready to go on the battlefield when I've got that on.
It is iconic. That's for sure. Oh, and Stuart, what about you? What's your response to that question?
Well, I feel that the cloaks, that sort of long flowing design is essential, and the sort of consistent, but yeah, the color schemes are unique. As if I'm comparing them, sort of big blocks of color, similar colors like blue and blue on blue, or maybe just two colors. There's some. Sorry, I'm not the world's best fashion describer, but the look it's incredible in Empire. You can easily tell which nation people are from by looking at them. I'm not sure how they did that well, but the Urizen look is very unique, and just look at it once and you'll know pretty much what to go for. Now, my personal favorite prop is, of course, the mage stick. Since Aquilian has not been on the battlefield yet, I can get a real stick because I don't have to hit anybody with it. And you can do that. You can decorate it. You can add frills. This is a candle holder, and it used to be that there was a ultraviolet torch at the base here that this would light up. You can do a lot of things with lights, is the other thing, especially for rituals at night. So the Urizen doesn't tend to have the sounds that you can do with some other nations, but the light and the visuals at night for some of the rituals can be really great. So think about what you're going to look like at night.
Yeah.
As you're coming there, that's the important part of it.
Cool. Raz, you have a fan that's just turned up in chat. Dawn's just turned up, so just thought I'd let you know.
I was like, hi, Dawn.
So yeah, what about you? What's your favourite, or what's the iconic kit, or in your favourite piece of kit?
For me, it is as Claire said, it's the layers upon the layers, and the belt that just finishes it up. It's it's nice and flowy, and it's nice being able to obviously like mix and match layers depending on weather, depending on what's going on, and a lot of my Spire has kit made by Jude, who's she designed a lot of the old Echo Storm kit, so a lot of their kit is matching. Like even the cloaks that they put on in winter matches, and everything looks nice, and it's a lovely it's like a pale minty color, their robes, so it looks absolutely gorgeous. Like Echo Storm have some gorgeous kit.
Yeah.
And then obviously we joined up with them and brought the bar down a bit. But yeah, I mean, my favorite piece of kit is my scales. I love makeup and doing my scale makeup and the teeth, and I sometimes wear like purple contact lenses for Alicia Thane. For a long while it was the green wigs. People used to think we were heralds. It was brilliant. So a lot for me, Alicia Thane is like a complete change of who everything of who I am.
Yeah.
But I am a cosplayer, so dress up is
second nature.
It's one of the If I can put contact lenses, teeth, makeup, fine, brilliant.
Good. It's nice to hear. Chris has said Alicia Thane is an awesome character to play with and only occasionally against. So
is that Brat?
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
He's saying that knowing that he's going to be running for Archmage of Night next season. So
he did bring it up once or twice, I have to admit.
Yeah. I mean, I told him to be fair. Somebody said, "Hey, you should do this," and he went, "What do you think?" And I went, "Yeah."
That's really cool.
Brat. I think, to me, Brat is a good character to play against as well. To give Chris a bit of credit there, because at the start of an event, I just hand off the Archmage's staff to him, and he just goes off and does what Brat does with it, and I get it back at the end of an event. It's brilliant. So nobody can find me through my staff. It's awesome.
That's genius. That's like that's next level. That is.
Yeah, the covens in Wintermark. Alicia Thane, we're going to do this ritual. Say no more. Take the belt. Take the chain. See you later. If I'm wearing any of my regalia, I feel like I failed as an archmage. Like I love sharing that stuff out. People got badass rituals to do. I'm just there to help them do it.
So if we walk around the Anvil and we see you're walking around completely naked, we know you've had a great event.
Brilliant event. Nicasia would never allow it.
I mean, she doesn't mind what you're wearing if you're comfortable. As long as you know where your clothes are, but
oh yeah, that's well. My robe's in the brass coast. My shoes are in the var.
So yeah, good day.
You'd be surprised at how accurate that statement actually is. To be fair,
I can believe it. Yeah, and your Hoover's in Highguard. That's awesome.
I lost my toes in Highguard.
Oh, that's a song right there.
I better make some notes. Hang on.
That's a song right there. I wonder if there's anyone on stream who could write a song about that, Claire. I mean, sorry, someone on.
There's got to be someone around here somewhere.
There's got to be. That's fantastic. That's brilliant.
It'll be the second song you've ever written about me, Claire. So I'm just saying,
Oh man, that's brilliant. I think we have a certain player of Achilles in chat as well. Chris, he's
Got a song too.
yeah. He doesn't deserve it though. He did nothing. No. Terrible, terrible. Achilles. Who the hell's Achilles? No one remembers Achilles. Hi, Chris. Hi.
We do. Hi, Chris.
He's one of my thanes. He's in my hall. Oh man. Oh dear. So Kyle's asked, who does Urizen have the most issues with, barbarian or within the Empire?
Seeing the state of our nation, right?
Yeah, Alicia Thane, literally anyone ever who she can pick a fight with, I imagine. If an event goes by and I've not had an argument, what have I really been doing that event? Alicia Thane, I think, is her own worst enemy. I think that's who she's got the most fight with, to be fair. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm sure Claire can have a diplomatic response for you.
I mean, mine's definitely the barbarians and definitely the Druge at the moment. Very much done with them and their goings on. So, yeah, looking forward to getting back to fighting them.
Yeah, Stuart, how about you?
The Conclave is probably the obvious answer there. Decided to make Aquilian a sorcerer for something that was kind of okay, other than all the other stuff. But as a nation, I mean, I think we get the most interesting arguments with Highguard because we're so similar. Highguard is almost there. They just have to change a little bit, and then they'll be proper. It's frustrating.
There's a nice comment that's turned up in chat from Brad. I turned up on my own for my first event. I felt part of it all very quickly. It was just an armored sentinel. Let's go fight things. So it seems like that's been a success story for someone turning up in Urizen on their own, and that's really, really nice to hear. John's also suggests Urizen has been described as fantasy Spock.
We usually get elves. So yeah, fantasy Spock. Yeah, I can see that.
I
mean, the Vulcans are not very far from the elves in concept space.
Yeah.
No. Because when they they're just described as high elves, aren't Urizen in the wiki as well? So, see that's something I did remember about Urizen. So, I'll take that as a win. So Captain Scrubbeard says, I didn't know anything about Urizen until now. Good to hear about them beyond the brief. There was Chris says, I love unfettered anarchy. I blame Raz for letting me curse people.
Not enough cursing is happening.
Technically, I don't let him do anything. He just does it, I guess. Like, he's Navari. I don't have, he does what he wants, Brat does. It's...
Yes. Pete's asked, this is a good question. A new fresh-faced player asks you, what is Urizen? What would be your one-line description to help better understand your nation? Raz, go for it.
Ooh. Do you like night magic? Good, come with me.
Brilliant. Stuart.
Well, I think the army slogan "Be the best" applies there. Be the best. Don't show it, but know it.
Very nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Claire.
I was going to go similarly with, just be the best you that you can be. We've got people all through us and that will help you, whatever area of the game you're interested in. There are people who are going to help you to get where you want to go.
Yeah. That's cool. That's good to hear. Does Urizen, this is from Unicorn Prawn, does Urizen have good opportunities for newer players to progress through positions such as titles or even unofficial hats? Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to running around for military gains, we've got the roles of ensign, the roles of adjutant. Adjutant's the legal position.
Mm.
Ensign is one that I stated to have someone in charge of skirmishes and making sure that we've got the people and the things that we need for skirmish. But yeah, you can absolutely, if you come in, you're keen enough, you yourself involved. As I say to people, sometimes that initially is the fetch and carry. It's we need to get messages to Dawn and Verushka, go and find out what they're up to. But show a bit of willing with that. And again, one of the great things about us being a small nation is people talk, and it doesn't take much for that talk to get to people already in the hats. And not even just those, but the general other people are interested in your part of the game. So I know I'm leaning obviously on the military a fair bit here, but I'm sure it's the same with magic, with trade, with politics. You get heard about, and then you get involved in more stuff. So yeah, definitely.
That's
Brad, as you just mentioned, there is one of those people who is very good at grabbing new people, especially new sentinels, and going, right, come here, do this thing, let's go.
Yeah, that's good.
I
Nobody noticed the fact that Raz dropped out of chat very briefly there because not everybody on screen suddenly shifted around, and that's all. No one noticed. It was fine.
No, it's fine.
We'll blame it on night magic. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm blaming it on Brat. It's fine.
Sabotage.
I'd say that in the Sentinel game, it's quite easy to get promoted or get to some important position or semi-important position quite easily. I think trade possibly too. Magic's a little bit more difficult because there's so much magic in Urizen. That's the main competitive area. Now, if you want to get involved in lots of fun stuff, that I definitely found very easy, and just go around, ask, and do stuff seems to be the main way of doing that. But sort of more official positions, I'd say would be more competitive in Magic. But in the military, in trade, and maybe in politics, it should be quite doable. Oh, sorry, and the main thing, the priesthood. We don't have a very large political priesthood, as I recall, and it seems that you could easily make your mark on that.
Cool. Raz, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is the nature of my coven or the nature of us, but it is kind of very easy once you're within a coven, or once you've joined up with a coven or formed your own coven or whatever. It's very easy to take the lead on things. Like, it's very easy to join because somebody will go, are you a night mage? Are you a day mage? Are you a whatever mage? Come with us. We need this ritual doing. And they'll invite you in because they're interested in what you've got to offer. And you can stand there for your first couple of rituals as just a participant. But in my coven, we've got this kind of unofficial, none of us are the leader. Not because we don't want to lead each other, honestly, or nobody wants that responsibility. But it's basically, if you feel that ritual is something that you want to lead, take the lead. Plan it with us. We'd rather that we had lots of expertise. If you feel that this ritual is something you want, if you've got an idea for it and you're like, I want to do this ritual, I want to do it using this method. Great, tell us what to do. Let's do it. And I think most covens are like that. I mean, when they all stand at the Regio, on the Sunday big coven hustle, I think many a times I've watched other covens and it's always been a different person leading it, and I get to hear so many voices just watching the Regio. You get your own moment in the spotlight in a coven, as it were.
Yeah. That's
And I
good.
think a lot of covens are like that. It's like some of them do have a coven leader, but most of the time, if it's somebody who says I want to do X, Y, Z, they get to lead their own ritual, and it's good because it allows for different comfort levels as well. You know, I've had a lot of people who've joined our rituals, and they're just like, "Do you mind if you go around the circle this way first, so I can listen to everyone else and think about what I'm gonna say?" Cool, yeah, we'll do that, and then they'll join in with a sentence, and then the next ritual it'll be 2 sentences, and then before you know it, they're leading their own ritual, and it's really cool to see that.
That's awesome. It's really nice to see that. It's like, I suppose, an unofficial education, isn't it? That they're shown how to do things, and then it's like it's almost immediate participation as well. So people don't feel left out, and they are brought into the fold. Do it this way. Try this, and and it just grows and grows. Learn by doing, in essence, really. There, isn't it? That's really cool. That's awesome.
A few years ago, I wrote a one way of performing your first ritual, which is just looking at, well, basically, it's surprising how long 2 minutes can be when everyone's attention is on you and you have to fill out that time. So it is good from learning by picking up what other people do. It's also good to have a few things yourself in your mind as to how to fill the time and how to make it into a ritual. So just sort of think of that there's different sections. There's going to be an opening. What are you going to do to open this? And then there's going to be a closing at the end. What are you going to do to indicate the target? What are you going to do to bring the people in? You can get people to introduce themselves. Just sort of have a structure and a few things that you can do, then improvise from that is what I'd recommend. And then once you've done a few and you're more confident, then you can play around with the different possibilities. All the heath magic, hearth magics are generally good things in terms of props or structure.
Yeah.
Like I'm just glancing here, Navarre has tracing patterns, where you can trace patterns quite a lot in different circumstances.
Yeah.
Girding, yeah, you can gird or not gird. Coin, basically all the hearth magics are mainly suggestions for how to make it into a ritual. And
yeah, that's really cool. I think that's leading into, because I've been asked to do another stream on magic as well. So that's that's definitely something I think that would be touched on then, and perhaps I'll get you back on for that one as well, Stuart. Come on, chat magic, and you too, Raz, if you'd be up for it.
Okay.
Give
me more than 2 hours notice.
Give you more than 2 hours notice this time, yeah.
Sorry.
There we go. We'll get Chris in as well. So there we go. We'll have you three on. There we go. Chris. So we can do it like that. So thanks, Carl, for gifting a sub there as well to a Resnivern, I'm gonna say. Don't know. But there you go, you've been gifted a sub. Fantastic. Welcome to the fam. Does Urizen clash with Dawn a lot? Because I've heard some things that imply that might be the case. Any experience of that? I don't think I've heard of that.
I think all the night mages in Dawn are absolutely bloody fantastic, and some of the best role players that I've ever role played with. Whether there's a clash or not, we wouldn't know anyway. We're all night mages. We wouldn't tell each other if there was a clash. We just guess mainly. But House de Rondel, Dakota Fur, Orzel, Vexiel. There's loads of brilliant mages in Dawn, and I'll be honest, they bring me a lot of game. They're the ones who I see a lot of Dawn at an event. I see a lot of Urizen just because of where I am, but I do see a lot of Dawn. I see a lot of Wintermark. See a lot of Varushka. I'd like to see more Navarre Night Mages. Sorry, Chris, but You know, a lot of my game is made by Dawn.
Yeah.
They are amazing people.
Okay, that's cool. So, because we've been going on for a little bit now, so and it normally takes me like 10, 15 minutes to say goodbye. So I tend to, when I get to a certain point, I start to pound through some questions just so I can catch up with chat mainly because I'm about, I don't know, 20 minutes behind at the moment. You know, it's quite busy in chat sometimes. So Matt has said, my favourite interactions with Alicia Thane involve our joint adventures into the Caucus Forum and the usual terrible aftermath.
Yeah. Night magic, night diplomacy is amazing. You know, there comes a time where you realize that you are a glorified babysitter sometimes for some of the bigger Eternals. And the Caucus Forum and some of the role play we've had from that. I mean, I've never really done anything like that. I've never been to a negotiation before, and Matt has done some absolutely amazing negotiations in the Caucus Forum. It's always been incredible role play.
Thane Daddy is upset with you, Steve. Oh yeah, Steve duly noted. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Oh man. Karolik, I don't know if it's already been covered, but how does Urizen magic stand out from other nations? Stuart, do you want to take this one?
Okay. The connection on, well, the eye light connections witnessed, it seems to be more getting people involved as witnesses and as participants. They are quite poised generally, the rituals, at least when Aquilian's not running them. But they're, yeah, so more precise, no wasted effort. This is magic is at our command. This is going to work. We are going to make it work.
I misread the question. I'm sorry.
What's the question?
I've just been corrected. So I shouldn't ask Stuart this question at all. So, how does Urizen music compare to other nations? So, Claire, do you want to take that question?
Absolutely take that question. Yeah, so back at the start of the game, each nation had a national bard, and that's actually what I started as. But the actual Urizen music brief was quite thin, in that, so there's an awful lot of sort of meditative music was talked about, and actually music as part of magical ritual was talked about a lot. It's called the Salutarian method, if anyone wants to look it up on the wiki. And it's the idea that each realm has a mode, and then you can compose in those modes for your magic, which is great, you know, for all those musical theorists out there. I think I did get grade 5 back many years ago, but actually I don't use a lot of that. I use it sometimes, but so I looked at this and was like, okay, so what do we want from our nation's music? So I looked at different areas, and I thought, well, you know, we can borrow things from other nations. You know, we can borrow styles. You know, we need songs that people can sing. We need songs for various occasions. And it sort of grew out of that. I was composing with especially Dave Lowry at the time. So we do try, certainly I try quite a lot to be, you know, sometimes a bit clever with some of the songs, that you'll find like repetitions, but repetitions where the meaning changes at different points in the song. You'll also find, like, you know, I've written things like 18 Rings, which is just, you know, very repetitive and easy to join in with. I've done a lot of sort of storytelling songs, so writing songs about actual events in game. So we have, you know, Up on the Black Plateau, which was written, you know, it's all true stories, it's all things that we did in play. Same with the song about Raz, Alicia Thane, and Alicia about the fact that, unfortunately, due to them not being well, they missed out on a bit of plot that they really, really should have been involved with. So there was that one. Numerous songs about battles that we've actually fought. And then the particular style that I've also cultivated is the Urizen lament, in which I always start the piece with a very slow verse, which is some sort of summary of the person or the person's life. We then have the more upbeat middle sections, which are talking about the events of that person's life, and how awesome they were. Then it ends on that somber note again. So yeah, people that I write laments for, and unfortunately I have managed to, one year, as Raz was saying, we had such an awful year. There is a lament which just has like one verse for each person who died, because we had so many people and I just couldn't keep up. But trying to make sure that what players do gets remembered is important. There are definitely some that are cleverer than others. Um, I have my own little cast called Bards Online, and we had Bard's Choice a couple of weeks ago, and I sang one which, as I said, it's too clever for its own good, but I'm excessively proud of it. And one day I will explain it when Acacia is out of the picture. Yeah, it's all sorts. It is a mishmash because, like I say, a lot of the brief is actually to do with magic. When it comes to music that we can enjoy, and that people are going to want to sing, that is quite a different thing. So yeah, and again, like songs by Dave Lowry, who's I think he's going to be playing with us for a bit, but him and his guitar are one of the features of Phoenix Reach. And again, songs that are fun to join in with, but then also things like I Found the Reach and Steel and Wine, they're all about how things that we do and how awful it can be sometimes. So yeah, we've got quite a catalogue at the moment. It's good stuff.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I do love all the different musics that you get when you walk around the field, and it's all different styles and everything. That is really, really nice to hear. I will add on to that as well. That Claire does Bards Online on Twitch as well. I will chuck in a link to it in. I'll put it in the self promo thing on the Discord as well, so people can come along and check you out as well when you have everybody on. So free plug. So Chris, you're back again, man. Come on. If it was not for Raz, Tom, and the Urizen Nation, Achilles would not have existed, and he was my first character. It was how good the nation made me feel that made me put in the work. I'm saying, really nice.
He made an impact.
Yeah, no, Achilles was great.
I was going to go the other way there, but if you think he was great, then yeah, that's fine too. He was all right. He was all right. He paid me.
Achilles once told me that both me and my brother were worth 70 thrones in a hostage situation. That was the nicest thing anyone's ever said.
He paid me with bear claws for like a 2 hours bit of bodyguarding for him, and that was it. So and it's still weapons I use today as well. I've still got them. And Achilles also gave me, so what I talked about at the beginning with the most interesting roleplay, the most aggressive roleplay that I've had towards me was from someone in Urizen. This was after Achilles was murdered in a battle. I can happily say this because due to an injury to my back, I couldn't fight in the battle that he was killed in. It didn't matter though. I was still hauled up before the militia and accused of his murder, quite publicly. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible to see. And I was walking along, and someone from Urizen, as I left, literally there, and spat on me. Not obviously, didn't really spit on me, but she was from Urizen, and she just spat at me. It was just like, this is amazing. I love this. Can I borrow your sword quickly? And they're just like, she's unarmed. Just like, I don't care. Yeah, but I wasn't allowed. It was really, really nice. It was really, really good to see that sort of death to a character elicited such an angry response from a whole nation. It was fantastic. And I was actually warned, don't go into Urizen for the rest of this weekend as well. It's like, I didn't do anything. I still did. I went to I went to his funeral. I went in and sat down and like said my goodbye to him as well. It was brilliant. It was great. But still, that's that's my little Achilles thing there. But he might be missed. Who knows? Right, let's see what we got. Let's roll questions. If you could, okay, so we'll go for Stuart this time because I interrupted him last time. If you could have a physical building prop type thing for the Urizen camp, a statue, for example, what would be your choice and why?
Statue. Well, probably the Net of the Heavens. Or some. Urizen is possibly the only nation in Empire which might have modern art or conceptual art. So something representing perfection or the Net of the Heavens. Maybe something that looks sort of different depending on the light, the time of day, and the angle that you look at it. And that kind of or maybe a statue of some sort of powerful mage, magician, sentinel, cook, with a mirror instead of a face, so that you can see yourself there. That might be a bit too arrogant. I'm not sure. But,
awesome.
there's nothing wrong with being arrogant in Urizen. It's being openly arrogant that feels like you're trying too hard.
Yeah. How about a Dyson? No.
My nemesis, the Ushabti.
Yeah.
It's now going to be the name of the Ushabti Dyson.
Exactly. So go for the last question that we've got then. We'll go for Raz here. And considering this is something you've already touched on as well, so I think this is quite apt. Is it a lot harder for non-mages to gain roleplay respect than mages?
No, we've Urizen has. I think Urizen started very mage heavy, but it's become such a diverse nation in terms of non-mages, mages. You know, we've got a lot of sentinels now and a lot of mages, and I think that wherever you go in Urizen, wherever you find your feet in Urizen, you're gonna get good roleplay out of it. You know, there's some absolutely amazing people.
Awesome.
There's
yeah.
There's a big difference between in-character status and admiration and out-of-character status. Like I've always played Aquilian as slightly looking down on non-mages, on the justification being that well, if they wanted, the mages have political power, which is right, because if the others wanted political power, they should just have become mages. I think that there should be a little bit of unthinking. The how Urizen is organized is the natural way that it should be, kind of thing. But I don't play that up much, and it definitely will not come out of character.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's some, as Stuart's saying, some characters might have that prejudice themselves. I don't think it's something that is a big deal in Urizen.
Okay, that's good. Because I think
there's a lot of there's a lot of spires that are like split down the middle, with some of the sentinels know a realm, a rank or two of magic. Some of the mages have some sentinel abilities. The reason that a lot of Urizen magic became thinned is because a lot of our mages had hero points and went out into the battlefield and got horribly murdered on certain skirmishes that will go unnamed, because I still miss Arcadius and his 4 ranks of magic. But yeah, you know.
Excellent. So, what are you three looking forward to doing the most when we get back into the field? What's going to be? Oh, I should say, what's the first thing you're going to do when we get back into the field? Raz, go for you first. What's the first thing you're going to do when we get back into the field?
Have a discussion with Brat about how he's going to be the next Archmage Knight, probably.
Don't give him ideas. He doesn't need encouragement.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to going to the secret tea house that isn't secret because it's got a massive sign saying secret tea house. But I'm looking forward to going there and having a lovely relax with other Nagas.
Cool. That's really cool. Stuart, what about you?
Well, Aquilian's main task is going to be to convince the Empire that he's a responsible magic user and that they should drop the sorcery thing. As usual, his approach to showing people he's a responsible magic user is to go up to all the main mages and bullying them to tell him what he needs to do to show that he's a responsible magic user.
Awesome.
So whether or not this is successful or not, we shall see.
Awesome.
No, I miss all you guys, and I miss Empire. I also miss traveling to other towns, but hopefully that'll all come back one day.
Yeah, it will. Claire, how about yourself?
Military plans and schemes. I'm gonna have to do a fair bit of revision before we hit the field again because I have forgotten a lot. But yeah, I can't wait to get back in like the military council tent and read out those reports and argue about what we're gonna do and see all my sentinels. And it's gonna be amazing. It's just gonna be so good to get back to it again. Yeah, it's a lot of military, all the military, all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I say it every single. I think I've said it every single stream for like the last 6 weeks. I just can't wait to see people. Can't wait to go home. I think is the best way to. I've heard people describe it. They feel like they're going home when they get back into the field because they can sit down by their fire outside their tent and they can chill out with their friends. And they can forget the real world exists for a few days, and they're home and they're able to relax and everything. So, I think that's a great thing, and that's something I'm looking forward to doing, and just seeing everybody. Can't wait. Really cannot wait. So I think I'm not reading that out, John. Sorry, mate. That's just depressing. E1's been cancelled. All right, so. Jesus. 120 days until E1. Oh, it's horrible.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll all be back one day. So I will call it there. I think that was really nice. Started off no technical issues at all with people joining and stuff. It was fine. There was no technical issues halfway through either, and it was wonderful. We've had some really nice headphones on display. We've got a wonderful beard on display, and we've got a wonderful shirt on display. So it's been really nice and chilled to have you three on just to sit down and chat. And I've learnt a lot. I really feel like I've learnt a lot here. There have been a couple of people who have said that they really want to go to Urizen now to play in chat. So I think you've got new players who are planning their next characters in Urizen. So
excellent. Come and join us.
So don't be surprised if you get poked. If you all hang around in the Discord, if you don't leave the Discord and that, and then hang around, you might see chats popping up in there. So and you'll get lots of stuff, and you could help new players out as well, which would be wonderful. So yeah. What else is there? So just to say, the Empire ticket I've put up here that you can see. I've changed the way that we do the donations. I know I normally do bits for it and then we build it up that way. But donations themselves are a lot easier. There is a donations button somewhere. It's just down the bottom somewhere, but it's a pain in the ass to get to. So I think I might have to find a new way of doing it. But yeah, we'll see if we can get an Empire ticket going. The vote for the next big thing that we're doing is currently a tie for first place. So if you haven't voted on that, then go and vote on that one. There's also the Navarre prize as well, where Rob has offered to make someone a one-handed weapon as a prize for it, but you have to give a description, just a one-liner of what you want made, and he's going to pick the best one and he'll make it for that person for free, and I'll pay for the postage for it as well. So a lovely giveaway on that one as well. Friday next stream, big one I'm looking forward to doing. Women in LARP, and come ask questions, especially you guys out there. Ask questions, please, because this is going to be a nice bit of growth for us all, hopefully. Okay, we can learn something here. So come along, watch, ask questions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got Nat and Georgia on that one. So yeah, and I'll see if we can get someone else to come and join as well, because I quite like the whole having 3 people on. It's nice. So yeah, so that's on Friday. It's going to be a good one. Really looking forward to it. Oh yeah, raid. I forgot about that. Right, who are we raiding? Let's raid someone. So we're going to go and see everything. So, but yeah. So thank you 3 for coming on. Thanks for the really short notice and actually being wonderful about it all. Apologies for that. But
thank you for inviting us, dude. Seriously, it's been really cool.
Been a good chat.
Thanks.
To be honest, go on.
All listeners or new LARPers, do ask us. Contact me on Facebook. It's Stuart Armstrong. It's always a pleasure to talk with new people and to help you out.
Well, we're all in the Discord, so feel free to just to poke Stuart, ask questions in the Discord, in the Nation chat and stuff like that, and it all helps, and it helps everybody out. So yeah, thanks everybody. We'll get the raid going and go say hi and yeah, and things. I haven't got the ending sorted yet, but I'll work on them, promise. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.
Leaves from the pond falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home. Ash in the snow, falling so slow, like fragile broken hearts with no place to go. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave